Panic and heartbroken as Nigerian Army writes to Buhari in tears. For how long is the Nigerian Army continue to write to the president for one need or the other? Yes, it is important. But then the president is supposed to know that these are the needs of the military. I thought that there is a certain amount taken from the Nigerian budget set aside for military needs on the part of purchase of ammunition and weapons at the war front. I thought that has been taken care of. So why then is our Nigerian our Nigerian government suffering the innocent soldiers, making them to go to the war front to die for nothing? Look at Enenche. That was 2019 when Enenche, General Enenche, led the Nigerian army to Sambisa Forest to fight the Boko people. It was at the war front that Enenche started crying for backup. Look at the Nigerian army, the recruits, the newly recruits that Brēākīñg just recruited. That was a last before he retired. Look at the newly recruit, the one who Brēākīñg recruited before he retired. Almost 100 of them left the war front because they cannot face the battle. They saw the battle, they ran. They saw the battle, they escaped. Over 100 of them left the war front, which is a very big blow on the cheek of the Nigerian army. It's a big blow. You see that? Until this very moment, they have not been able to see any of them because they said it's a crime to run away from the war front. Whose fault is that? Whose fault? I don't see that to be the fault of these soldiers. We are the fault. We are at fault. The army is at fault and not the soldiers. These soldiers at first, they have sacrificed their lives. They have given it up at least to accept to be recruited. So the next thing that the army is supposed to do is to get them equipped if sending them to the war front. But you're sending them to the war front, you're sending them with belated weapons. How do they go about it? How do they go about it? It means that you're sending them to the war to go and die. You see that? So that is why I am saying, and I'll still be saying it, that the Nigerian army is not well equipped. Forget whatever weapon you are seeing there. They are old weapons. We're talking about new, clean weapons. That is what the Boko people are using for them. So in this very letter, the Nigerian army has seen writing to the president complaining of one, belated weapons, poor payment of salaries, lack of care, and what have you, and which is a very big insult to the Nigerian army. How can people be going to the war to fight for you and you don't get them equipped financially? It's so stupid. All right. Some Nigerian army soldiers have sent President Muhammadu Buhari a save our soul message over the Nigerian army's proposed deduction of their salaries to compensate for some fraudulent Nigerian Army welfare housing scheme. In a letter obtained by Sahara reporters, the soldiers, one sergeant, two corporal, two lance corporals, and one private claimed that the army deducts between 15,000 and 49,000 from their monthly salaries, which is affecting their well-being. Not commissioned officers and senior non-commissioned officers, according to the personnel, are struggling to feed their families and pay their children school fee from our modest wages. As a result, they want the army authorities to rethink the deduction. On behalf of the entire non-commissioned officers and senior non-commissioned officers, we write to condemn the Nigerian Army's proposed plan to further increase their pace in a way of continuous swindling and to place us and our families in persistent hunger and starvation, the soldiers wrote. Given the current high rates of inflation in the Nigerian economy, the NCOs and SNCOs are finding it difficult to feed our families and pay our children's school fees on our meager salaries. Yet, under the guise of a futile, dishonest Nigerian Army welfare housing scheme, the Nigerian Army has invented a method of taking or extracting the scarce ability allowance from us. It is important to remember that the Army cannot exist or function effectively without the NCO and SNCO, but it can exist and function effectively without the commissioned officers. This is to suggest that the SNCO and NCO are the foundation of the Nigerian Army. Without them, the NA will not exist, and yet they bear the brunt of the punishments. The Army needs to subtract a whopping amount of 15,000, 16,000, 17, 21, 26, and 30 on a monthly basis and according to the ranks respectively, despite the fact that the NCO and SNCO are not well paid. They still want us to eat and purchase our military uniforms with the remaining money after this deduction. The Nigerian Army officers are ecstatic to see us, the NCO and SNCO, struggling every day of our lives. They have never been able to and will never be able to devise a good strategy that will help other ranks. Instead, they would rather steal without concern for our pain. We are using this platform to appeal to the federal government, the House of Representatives, the Senate, and all other stakeholders to intervene and prevent the Army, led by Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atairo, from carrying out the proposed fraudulent plan. You can see that the coming of this new Army chief is very, very fraudulent. Very, very fraudulent. You can see all of these Army chiefs, they have their own issue. Buratai is weak in terms of discharging responsibilities. This one is not weak, but is full of fraud. He has come to fraud the officers, and I think immediate action should be taken on this report, or else I'm afraid our soldiers will be feeling reluctant to fight at the war front. All right, let's hear from you, my viewers, and know what you have to say about this. If you're new, don't forget to leave your comments below the comment section. Click on the subscription buttons as well as the bell buttons to get updated each time we upload any new videos. Thank you.